So the last video I made dealing with, just the utter nonsense of how Black Lives Matter has been given free reign of this country since the end of the Obama administration. One of the commenters stated that I need to rethink my beliefs. Now, I'm going to leave a link to that video, and I want people to watch that video. And if they truly think I need to rethink my beliefs, they're a traitor to this country. That's the bottom line there. If you actually watch that video, yeah, I use some harsher than normal language, but if you actually look at what I'm saying, so apparently being for law and order, Western civilization, peace and prosperity is dangerous, apparently, and I need to rethink that. Now, one of the things I want to bring up is, since Biden got into office, the U.S. military has been all about equity and getting transgendered folks in the military and gay equity and racial equity and all this other stuff in the U.S. military. I brought up the gang problem in the U.S. military, which has actually gotten to every branch of the military, according to both the Pentagon and the Department of Justice. Every single branch of the, the armed services of this country has some gang activity, organized street gang activity. And it's the usual, the Bloods, the Crips, the Gangster Disciples, the Latin Kings. These different gangs are all represented in our military in countries such as Germany, in countries such as Iraq, in countries such as Afghanistan, Panama, which I mentioned in my last video. There have been rapes in Germany committed by gangs. There have been a murder. A fellow soldier was murdered by a rival gang in Germany. Okinawa, I don't know if people remember this, but in Okinawa, a lot of people don't understand why Japanese people have the fear they do of African American people. But if you remember Okinawa, there was a 12-year-old girl that was brutally raped by 3 black U.S. servicemen. These are the things that you don't hear about. Now, remember, I think it was in Germany again. I don't know what's going on in Germany with our armed services. Maybe they need to pay a little bit more attention to what people are doing. But I believe it was Germany again that most recently there was some satanic group that was planning on giving away troop positions or something like that. What my point would be is this. You have extreme infestation with criminal gangs in the United States Armed Services. And we're worried about, this one-off satanic thing, the Order of Nine Angles, or whatever the hell it is, or Deutschland, or whatever the hell it's called. But we're not somehow. Biden is more concerned about equity and getting transgendered folks in the military and things of that nature than he is at clearing out the gang activity in the U.S. Army. And for those that like Trump, don't think that Trump did anything about it, because this has been a long-standing problem in the United States Army. Very long-standing. You're talking from the 90s. Back in the 90s this started. So, I mean, you have a pretty long-standing problem. The Bush administration did not do enough about it. George W. Bush, that is. The Clinton administration didn't do anything about it. The Obama administration certainly didn't do anything about it. The Trump administration hasn't done anything about it, and now Biden does nothing about it. But this is a national security hazard to this republic, especially when we have soldiers, U.S. soldiers, murdering other soldiers. Who remembers the Hispanic soldier? I forget where that was. Tulsi Gabbard went to to help try and find the young lady, and there was another Hispanic man that was killed at the same base at Fort Hood, I believe it was. And I'm going to check into that, leave a link to what Tulsi Gabbard said. But I mean, when you have soldiers killing soldiers, I believe it was the Lord Jesus Christ that said, a house divided against itself cannot stand. And that's what we have going on in this country. That's what people don't understand. People do not read enough Machiavelli. They do not read enough Ragnar Redbeard. They do not read enough of these books. What people don't understand is, while you are not embracing might and you are not embracing a Machiavellian outlook, others are. Our generals need to think more like Machiavelli and less like Karl Marx. Or less like, I'm trying to think of people off the top of my head that are real wimpy with that stuff, but, you know, the military is a meritocracy, not a multiculturalist orgy of nonsense, but it has become a multiculturalist orgy of nonsense. So when you say we're the greatest military in the world, are we really? When we have people that are clearly joining the military to get an education in how to be better criminals. Why do you think these people from these criminal gangs are joining the military? Do you think it's for money? No, they're selling drugs. They're doing all these things on the streets. They're learning how to become better criminals, and then our military is turning out criminals that now have an education on how to hotwire vehicles and commit basically warfare into our inner cities and suburban environments. There's a lot of stuff going on in the suburbs now where I live. And this is what's overlooked. I mean, this, without cleaning this out, the military is useless, honestly, especially as far as it is concerned for any domestic deployment to fix this country. It's utterly useless. Now, I do want people to follow the links in the description. Look at the links, follow the links, read the links, view the links, see that what I'm saying is true. And this is the stuff. Biden wants to concern himself with transgenderism, and the Republicans aren't much better with their first transgender governor candidate, Caitlyn Jenner, and he'll win. I'm dead serious that Bruce Jenner will win in California. And everybody's like, no, he won't. No, he won't. If Arnold Schwarzenegger, who actually was moderately conservative, and he's not anymore, but when he ran, he was moderately conservative, and he won California. You don't think this Fruit Loop weirdo wackadoodle is going to win California? I'm pretty sure he will. And the reason why is because, A, he's famous. Elections in this country have become popularity contests. Nobody knows a damn thing about policy anymore. And if they do know about the policies they're promoting, they don't know about how a policy is passed. And number two, it's Caitlyn Jenner. He's a transgendered activist and a Republican. And the epitome of what the Republican Party has become, a party of greed that cares nothing at all about the country or the people in the country, just how much money can I put in my pocket. And that's all for this video. But for the people that think I need to rethink my beliefs, maybe you should review my video and see what the hell I'm saying. Because, it's getting to the point where if you have even remotely patriotic viewpoints, you're considered some kind of crazy person, and that's just not how this is. The problem is, the non-crazy people are outnumbered thousands to one by crazy people. That's the truth. That's all for this video.